popular belief that falling in love leads to everlasting happiness and should be the basis for marriage. Where did that belief come from? This may be a question that you never thought about. Although songs, movies, and literature romanticize love to be a many splendid thing. For most people, though, it's difficult to talk about love and explain what it is.
Why do people repeatedly fall in and out of love? Have you ever asked, how can something feel so good, yet turn out so bad and make you feel sad and depressed?
If people know that romantic love is blind, makes them feel crazy and sick, and do stupid, risky things that they later regret, why do they want to experience it? If mental health professionals know that the symptoms of romantic love resemble mental illness and addiction, why don't they tell it like it is? Hello, I'm Ken Hardman.
And I'm Verena Hardman. We have been married for more than 40 years. When you reach our age, you can feel a responsibility to convey for future generations lessons learned about what makes for a meaningful, purposeful, happy life. Lessons learned that can benefit your family and other families. Therefore, we would like to share with you some insights about that. Specifically about forming a healthy marriage based on a genuine relationship of trust.
This video is an overview of coming short videos that will explain how relationship of trust is the essential basis upon which to wisely trust and be trustworthy when choosing a marriage partner and forming a marriage. It is a far safer and more reliable basis to marry than wandering through the minefields of dating, guided by the illusions of romantic love, hoping to find a fantasy soulmate.
The truth is that no relationship can survive and be healthy without trust and trustworthiness. True love, lifelong commitment, care, and genuine emotional intimacy cannot form, develop, and be sustained in a marriage without a foundation of genuine trust and trustworthiness.
So who can benefit by viewing this short video and the coming videos? Anyone can benefit who seeks a safe and reliable basis for choosing a marriage partner and forming a healthy, happy marriage. Whom you decide to marry impacts your entire well-being and happiness in the present and in the future. It affects your emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, and physical health, even how long you will live. Marriage is a big deal.
Anyone can benefit who desires to prevent getting hurt or hurting others while trying to form a marriage. Anyone who desires to prevent dating abuse and violence.
You can benefit if you're a single adult, tired of the disappointments, dishonesty, and heartbreaks in the contemporary dating scene, and tired of the painful revolving door of falling in and out of love.
If you are a parent and desire to partner with and wisely mentor your children to form a healthy marriage, the coming videos will provide you with practical insights. Whether married or divorced, you need not have had a perfect marriage to do so. You know more than you think you do.
You just need some assistance to surface, understand, and express what you have experienced and what is true about living a meaningful life together in marriage. When parents mentor their children, they enrich their own marriage and demonstrate dedication to improve their marriage and to be the best example that they can be for their children.
Yes. We can all learn how to improve our levels of marital satisfaction and to support one another to make our lives better together. Lifelong learning is for everyone.
Married couples can benefit who seek to enrich their marriages. The entry-level attitudes and relationship skills necessary to begin marriage continue throughout a marriage.
Families can also benefit who desire to strengthen their unity and interdependence by supporting the formation of healthy marriages that are strong links in the chain of families.
This includes high net worth families who seek to manage risk and preserve both their material and human wealth far beyond 3 generations. Family discord and nasty divorces can disrupt and bankrupt a family's human capital and financial assets.
Mm-hmm. Before we provide an overview and roadmap of the topics that this short series of videos will discuss, here is a list of positive paradigm shifts that you can benefit from through these videos. These shifts in thinking are essential to form and develop a healthy marriage. They include moving from unrealistic to realistic expectations about love and marriage, from falling in love to growing in love, from love just happens to you to love is learned, and from false romance to true romance.
They include moving from love sickness to love fitness, from a fantasy soulmate to becoming a soulmate and nurturing the soul of your mate, from waiting for the only one in the universe to becoming as one.
There are more beneficial paradigm shifts, like from a hormonal high to character readiness as the basis of marriage, from dishonest profiles to honest profiles, from selective honesty to full honesty.
There are more, from surviving to thriving in marriage, from uncertain and temporary intimacy to reliable and sustained intimacy, from 1 generation to 7 generation thinking.
There are 3 big ideas that shape the content of these videos and enable you to experience the benefits of these paradigm shifts. One is first principles thinking. What is first principles thinking? It is a creative problem-solving method used to enable innovation and development in business and in the sciences.
What it does is to guide us to reduce the whole of an issue into its simplest parts and determine whether the beliefs or knowledge about those parts are objectively true. If those beliefs are not true, then we discover what is objectively true.
Mm-hmm. For example, objective facts are separated from fallacies, mythologies, and illusions that falsely idealize romantic love. We do that to enable single adults to get marriage right from the start. We do that to prevent singles from hurting one another when attempting to form a marriage, and from recklessly gambling away their lives, wandering in the minefields of dating guided only by romantic love's roller coaster of hormonal impulses in their brains.
As we do that, and it becomes evident that romantic love is not true love, some of you may jump to the conclusions that we are anti-love and anti-romance. On the contrary, we advocate for pro-true love that enables true romance to develop within a healthy marriage that lasts a lifetime. We encourage people to wisely manage their feelings so they can experience the benefits of the positive paradigm shifts that we have described. A second big idea is related to the first. When you evaluate someone as a potential marriage partner, it is critical to educate your moral imagination.
Here is what moral imagination means. Your decision whom to marry is your prediction that a life together with that person and their family would bring you happiness. Pursuing happiness involves imagination. That is, imagining and predicting the events that you think would result in happiness.
That is based on what you think an entire meaningful life together in a healthy marriage would be like. That is the full range of possibilities, such as managing its highs and lows, its challenges, conflicts, surprises, disappointments, and accomplishments.
The moral aspect of imagination simply means when considering that full range of possible events in marriage, to accurately envision how you and the potential marriage partner should treat one another at the start of a marriage and for a lifetime and beyond. Think about it. True love in marriage is consistently doing what is morally right, to care and be loyal to one another.
Think twice. What if your predictions are very wrong about those events, about your current self and future self, and about the potential marriage partner? Do you think you need some education and mentoring? Or do you think you know it all?
The third big idea is to think comprehensively outside the box and in terms of at least 7 generations. This is to intend that your marriage be a healthy model that is emulated by your children and improved upon for at least 7 generations.
It means to realize that as you invest yourself in developing a healthy marriage partnership, the knowledge, skills, experience, and relationship of trust you develop within it are human capital. It is wealth.
Yeah, a healthy marriage and relationships of trust are force multipliers that increase your physical and mental health, your financial wealth, and your ability to fulfill your God-given human potential. Intend that the development of healthy marriages be a family tradition that is preserved for 7 generations and beyond, and not lost within 3 generations.
7 generational thinking is about transferring human and financial wealth and about interdependent decision making. It's part of developing strong links and partnerships in the chain of families for current and future generations. It is central to wealth preservation and estate planning.
Our videos begin with providing for your consideration a definition of love, romance, and the word true. We do that because in our Western society there is no coherent framework within which to talk about love. As a consequence, there is much confusion about what love is and is not, and it is very difficult for people to even describe love. Try to do it.
Defining love and then romance in their most basic forms is important so you can distinguish the mental state of romantic love from true love and other forms of love. It helps to prevent falling into the trap of circular reasoning about romantic love. What do you say when someone argues that if you don't experience romantic love, then you don't experience love at all for someone?
Next, we provide a historical perspective for how dating emerged. As part of a perfect storm of historical and cultural changes in the early 20th century, you will learn how the purpose of dating has changed. For example, it first gradually replaced calling as the exclusive way to form a marriage. Then the primary purpose of dating transitioned to having fun and be emotionally and physically gratified without commitment.
The consequences of modern dating are explained. For example, dishonesty in dating is widespread. Dating promotes narcissism, and it's not safe. Dating abuse and violence are national health problems. Dating is gambling with your life.
Then we review the mental state of romantic love that is popularly regarded as the gold standard for marriage. You will learn about the studies from mental health clinicians, psychologists, and neuroscientists who report that the symptoms of romantic love resemble those in mental illness and addiction.
They describe the dysfunctions and harmful outcomes of romantic love, commonly known as love sickness and love blindness. You might know romantic love as infatuation, or from song titles like Crazy in Love by Beyonce or Aerosmith, or Crazy Over You by the K-pop girl band Blackpink.
We explain why mental health professionals have been reluctant to acknowledge the similarities of romantic love symptoms with mental illness and addiction, and why those professionals provide no common framework to evaluate and to treat romantic love.
We examine the entrenched popular fallacies, mythologies, and illusions that falsely idealize romantic love. We explain why they are false and promote dysfunctional romantic behaviors between males and females, and create roadblocks to healthy relationship progress. Among them are the soulmate myth and to follow your heart. If it feels good, how could it be wrong?
There is also the fallacy of all you need is love to solve any problem. Included is the illusion of compatibility, as well as the belief that the euphoric feelings of romantic love will last forever, and the romantic belief that true men aggressively pursue women to prove their manliness. As a society, we have been indoctrinated with these beliefs. They are unconsciously embedded in our memories.
Next, we begin to explain that a better way to marry is through a genuine relationship of trust and trustworthiness. Think about it. At a minimum, is love and marriage not about care and loyalty? Spouse A trusts spouse B to care and be loyal to what is important to spouse A in the relationship, and spouse B responds with trustworthiness. Likewise, spouse B trusts spouse A to do the same.
If you are seeking true romance, what could be more romantic than knowing with great certainty that your spouse is trustworthy to loyally commit their entire life to care for your highest well-being? Therefore, we discuss 12 ways that we all can improve our ability to trust wisely and better manage the cognitive biases that all of us carry around in our heads.
These insights help to manage the romantic love attractions that can lead to prematurely trusting the wrong person and to tragically ride the wild roller coaster of romantic love with them to a painful dead end. Being trustworthy is about bridging the gap between theory and practice and between our words and deeds in order to be consistently reliable.
Therefore, we drill down to examine what motivates and guides our ethical decisions, what we believe is right and wrong. For example, to be fully honest, to act in good faith, and to be loyal. That leads us to consider moral principles.
Moral principles are like the global positioning system, the GPS, that we use to navigate and travel in the right direction. Or think of moral principles as your internal moral compass.
We evaluate the two categories of moral principles to determine which of them consistently guides us to be ethical and trustworthy, especially when choosing a marriage partner and forming a marriage. There is the category of moral relativism and the category of universal moral principles, like the golden rule of reciprocity and the human rights principle of self-determination.
Well, moral principles shape the ethical rules of right and wrong in a relationship and within a set of circumstances. Trustworthiness requires more than following a set of rules.
We also need to answer the question, what kind of a person should I be? Therefore, we additionally examine virtue and identity as factors that motivate us to do what is right and not wrong, especially when forming a marriage. The series of videos conclude by discussing basic ethics when considering someone as a marriage partner and forming a marriage. Those ethics are the right things to do in a relationship of trust, such as to act in good faith, to be fully honest, to make full disclosures, to be loyal, and to deal fairly. They are essential to demonstrate trustworthiness and can serve as a written code of ethics in a family.
The videos provide meaningful questions that help you to apply those ethics to evaluate a person's trustworthiness and prevent heartbreak. They further the goals of singles who are fed up with their dishonesty in dating and desire to get married. They want to marry someone who desires the same things in life. Therefore, they want to know the honest intentions of a person who shows interest in them. A family approach, a better way to marry, is a far more reliable way to predict a potential marriage partner's future behaviors in marriage.
The videos provide meaningful questions for different scenarios. For example, when someone asks you to consider them enough to explore the possibilities of marriage with you, they are asking you and your parents to trust them enough to do so and to enter your family's circle of trust.
In that context, meaningful questions to ask include: do you recognize what is a relationship of trust? What does that mean to you? Do you recognize the relationship of trust with your parents? What does that mean to you? If we were to begin discussions to explore the possibilities of marriage, would you recognize a relationship of trust with me and my parents? What would that look like?
Similarly, if you ask someone to trust you enough to consider you as a potential marriage partner, meaningful questions to ask yourself include: does that person have a right to know fully who I am? Why? Do their parents also have a right to know fully who I am? Why? What information do they have a right to know about me and why? When should that information be disclosed to them?
The coming videos are a supplement to our book, A Better Way to Marry. The book includes benchmarks for marriage preparedness and a common sense, family-centered process to explore the possibilities of a marriage with someone. We will see you next time when we review what is love, what is romance, and what is true love and true romance.
All the best!